Dave Doogan.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I say at the outset, apologies are one thing, but apologies that are made in the wholesale absence of any form of evidenced repentance are not worth a button. And I'm pleased to stand and speak for the many Angus constituents, almost 100 now, that have written to articulate their outrage at this debacle of accountability at the feet of this Prime Minister. And he was always a questionable choice to lead the Conservative Party, because he would inevitably have immediately became Prime Minister under the politics of that time, the indiscreet, verbose showman that seemingly the Conservatives required to unlock the Brexit impasse in this place. It was always going to be a high-risk strategy, and their chickens, Madam Deputy Speaker, have come home to roost. But if the Tories claim to have got Brexit done, which in itself is a questionable assertion that rests uncomfortably with the truth, why are they so reluctant to dispose of their one-trick pony leader? And I say this in all candour, the train crash of this Prime Minister was always a question of when, not if. And the reputational capital and the parliamentary respect that the Prime Minister is furiously feeding off to keep himself on political life support is a function of a zero-sum game. That which he is gorging upon is coming at a direct and equal cost to all of the members opposite, because they have the ability to stand up for that which is right and remove him. But more seriously, it's also coming at a cost to the public's faith in political leadership such as it is. Except, I'm pleased to say, in Scotland, where Scottish Tory voters, including in my Angus constituency, took one look at this Prime Minister, whereupon Tory seats in Scotland fell by 55% at the last election in 2019. Only 2 Scottish Tory MPs were present for this debate today at all, Madam Deputy Speaker. They're not in their place now, and the Scottish Tory leader never showed up at all. And the Prime Minister's vacuous claim that he must stay in office to help with the cost of living crisis and the crisis in Ukraine is a grotesque contortion of reality and history. In reality, the UK Government under this Prime Minister is adding to the cost of living crisis, with tax increases heaped upon soaring fuel and food prices. And in France, they are in the final throes of a presidential election while supporting Ukraine. Politics is not displaced by conflict, Madam Deputy Speaker, quite the opposite in fact. And in historical terms, the UK and other nations wasted no time in changing leaders ahead of and during 2 world wars. So this charade is little more than a disgraced Prime Minister desperately seeking to attach himself to a convenient cause to distract from his now trademark injudicious character. But I know honourable and right honourable members opposite get it. We heard earlier from the member from Hazel Grove, who is no longer in his place, in his excellent speech, highlighting the risks to parliamentary and democratic reputation if the Prime Minister does not take responsibility. Similarly, the right honourable member from the Forest of Dean made his position clear in the Prime Minister earlier this week. And the public have not forgotten the nature and the letter of the rules, the immeasurable constraints on our lives and freedoms during lockdown. And as other honourable and right honourable members have said, it is literally inconceivable that there was any grey area over these parties or bring your own booze-ups. So the Prime Minister's refusal to go is beyond acceptable. And these are views shared by constituents up and down these islands, not just in Angus. But my Angus constituent, Nicola Livingston, points out, in her words, the Prime Minister's refusal to go and the Conservative Party's acquiescence undermines the rule of law and any trust in political institutions. The Conservative Party's tawdry self-preservation is an insult to the nation and to the behaviours we expect from our leaders, and it will be profoundly damaging to our faith in government at a time when it is already dangerously low. So I deeply regret, Madam Deputy Speaker, in closing, that the government have weakly withdrawn their amendment, and I look forward to making sure that we can put on the record our position on this matter in the voting lobbies today. Thank you.